Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and it's been about a week since I posted a video because I have been very busy building and filming this, which is my high-spec 250 racer. Before I get onto that though, I would like to make you guys aware that I have opened an Instagram account. My partner has been nagging me for a while to open one, so I have done. I plan to use the account to post pics of upcoming products and reviews before the video is released. So if you have an account, my username is AndyRC_channel. Please give me an ad as I only have the one follower at the moment. As mentioned in a previous video, I was wondering whether to post a full detailed video of the build or a shorter video in segments. Thanks to your great feedback, I have decided to do a shorter video detailing the parts in the build and then a full build video for those who are interested in watching it. So this is the shorter video, and here we have the full built quadcopter. We have the Alien 5-inch frame. Now, if you are not aware of this frame, it is the one that everyone is using to win events such as the Dubai World Drone Prix, which was won by Luke Bannister. This is Luke here, and he actually is a subscriber to the channel. So it's a pretty popular frame, and it's an expensive one, coming in at $129. So is it worth spending the extra money? Well, to that I have to say yes and no. So my last build was the ZMR 250 frame, and it's cheap as beans. It definitely didn't go together as well as the Alien, requiring a lot of modification to the arms. It's a bit heavier and it flexes more, and it's slightly bigger than the Alien frame. But that does allow it to house 6-inch props, which the 5-inch can't. That's why it's called the 5-inch frame. The Alien frame slotted together perfectly, and their X-locking mechanism is totally solid. When I try to bend the frame, it's like trying to bend a brick, whereas the ZMR frame definitely has a bit of flex to it. I have to say though, I can hardly notice any difference in the flying characteristics of either of these two frames. I'm using the Luminaire 2206 2350 kV motors with the KISS 24A ESCs and the KISS flight controller. Compared to the Cobra 2204 2300 kV motors that I used in the ZMR 250 build and the KISS 18A ESCs, again, there isn't much in it when it comes to performance. I think the Luminaire's rev slightly higher when using the same props, which are the HQ 543 leaf props. The biggest plus point of this build is definitely the KISS 24A ESCs. They have a telemetry output signal which connects to the KISS flight controller, and that outputs data to the Micro Minim OSD. This ends up being much cheaper and lighter than using the TBS PMP50, although the Micro Minim OSD requires a 5V input, so I use this Pololu 4S to 5V regulator to power it separately. I am using the Immersion RC 600 VTX, which does have a 5V output, but I didn't want to overload it, and I also wanted a clean FPV signal, so I powered the VTX and Minim OSD off the regulator that I added. The Immersion RC VTX input voltage is quoted as being 6V to 25V, but it's running off 5V fine here, and I will detail that in the full build video. For the camera, you are kind of stuck with the HS1177 as it's designed for it, but this camera is regarded as the best anyway, so I'm using that, but with an extra wide-angle lens of 2.1. The LiPo is the Luminaire 1300 4S 65C battery, and the straps that are keeping that in are the RotorGeek straps that I got free when buying 2 lots of packages from RotorGeeks. The HD camera is different this time. I'm using the GoPro Hero 4 Black Edition. Most people use the GoPro Hero 4 Silver as the battery lasts longer, but I already have this one. I'm using a green GoPro protection case as well as a lens protector. The GoPro mount is the same mount that I used on the ZMR to mount the Xiaomi Yi, and it works perfect with the GoPro. The antenna is the Omway Cloverleaf antenna. The radio gear is my Taranis along with the X4R SB receiver. Some important things that I found while doing this build is that the motors are wired opposite to the Cobras, so the direction jumper is shorted on these two arms when all the motors are soldered straight to get the correct direction on all of the motors. For the Micro Minim OSD, KISS sell their own one if you don't want to do any of the programming. However, the Micro Minim OSDs that you can buy online are smaller, so I chose to program my own one, and I will detail that in the build video as well. Another thing that I found was that the VTX powers fine from the 5-volt regulator, but this makes the voltage out on the VTX only output 4 volts, which isn't enough to power the camera. So I powered the camera direct from the 5-volt regulator as well, and this worked fine. For the video receiver, I'm using the Fat Shark Dominator V2s. I have the HD2s, but as shown on my previous video, the picture is too blurry for my liking, so I'm using the V2s instead. That's about everything, so let's go and check out some of the footage today taken from the maiden flight.